Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by RCHERY, HOYT Archery, Muddy Outdoors, Fuse Accessories, Frigid Forage, Trophy Rock, Scott Archery, Cabela's, Rocket Broadheads, Execute Scent Control, Bloodsport Arrows, Redneck Hunting Blinds, Scent Master, Yeti Coolers, Quiet Cat, Non-Typical Wildlife Solutions, Deer Grow, Icon Cameras, and Nikon.
Hi, welcome to Midwest Whitetail. Bill is up north right now in Canada fishing with Andrew, so we decided this week to kind of give you a behind-the-scenes rundown of how our business works. Now, Bill's office is about 5 miles from here. It's out in the country at his place. Y'all have seen it a lot over the years. And this is actually our office. This is where all of the Midwest Whitetail business is pretty much run. I mean, as you can see, if you come around here, we got Greg over here working, and John and Luke. These are all of our editors that we create all the videos off of for the Midwest Whitetail site and also for all the other projects that we're working on. I work over here in the corner. I'm responsible for a lot of the Cabela's content that we do, the Cabela's Spring Thunder series and the Cabela's Whitetail Season series in the fall. I also produce the Great Plains Show for Midwest Whitetail. Luke does the Cabela's WLM series, Wildlife and Land Management. John Lewis, he does the Cabela's Northern Flight Waterfowl series. Eric Barber sits over here next to John, and he's the one that produces the Midwest Whitetail Off-Season series. The reason why he's not in his chair is because he's running the camera right now. And then Greg Clements is over here in the corner. Right now he's producing the Midwest Whitetail television show. He's the main show producer in the fall, but during the summer he does our TV shows. And if you can see over here on the board, we've got all of our TV kills from last fall that he's working on. And we don't just take TV kills from the Midwest Whitetail main show. These are all kills from every region of the Midwest Whitetail Pro staff. And as most of you know, we have regional shows that we produce in the fall. And these are kind of the cream of the crop from last fall. We like to pick the best hunts with the best educational points so that we can put them in the TV show. And these are the ones that made the list this year. But I'll take you on here to the second room and we'll check out some more of the office. Got our little kitchen back here. Upstairs we got a loft that we'll take a nap in every once in a while when we start working long hours. And this is where our interns will work this summer. Right now there's nobody in here obviously, but we're gonna hire 3 interns that are gonna show up around the middle of July. And this is where they're gonna primarily work. We always are getting a lot of questions about the camera equipment that we use. And this is where we keep all of that stuff throughout the entire fall. And as most of you have seen with Bill's hunts, he's got that great big camera that we're always running. For us in town, we don't have anything quite like that, but we do have several different types of professional cameras. This is just a Canon G10, very small, compact little camera that we could throw in a backpack, shoot cutaways with. I mean, you could even shoot a full-length hunt on something like this. The camera that Eric's using right now isn't a whole lot bigger than this G10, but it's a step up or two. It's one that we've used a lot this spring and got some really nice footage off of it. Over here is the NX3 from Sony, and it has a 20x zoom. Doesn't do quite as good in low light as Bill's big camera that you see him running all the time, or the next one that I'm going to talk about, but it does have a really good optical zoom on it, which makes this camera a great choice for filming deer out there in the summertime, or even taking along on a gun hunt. It's a great all-around video camera for filming whitetail hunts. And then this is kind of our go-to camera here in the office. This is a Sony PMW 200, and it's basically the same thing as an EX1 or an EX1R, just the newer version. This is the one that we use most of the time for filming bow hunts out of the office. It's very good in low light, doesn't have quite as deep of a zoom as the NX3, but great all-around camera, and it's one that we use all the time. Over here in these backpacks are our mobile editors. We've got a couple of laptops here, and if you watch the Cabela's Spring Thunder series that I do for turkeys, I'm always on the road hunting somewhere or filming somebody, and the shows are still getting produced, and that's exactly how we do it. We take these laptops along. Sometimes we're producing shows in tents and hotel rooms. Luke and I last year were down in Florida on a hunt, and we ended up uploading and finishing the show in an IHOP parking lot on one of these laptops. So pretty cool stuff there. Then over here we've got the rest of our camera equipment. We've got GoPro glide cams, DSLRs, lots of battery chargers, and everything's kind of unorganized, but that's because we fly by the seat of our pants in here. Then down here we've got all of our hard drives, and this is our main network drive that we house all the footage in. And I don't know how many terabytes of footage we've got, but Midwest Whitetail's been around since 2008. It's 2015 right now, and there's a lot of deer hunting stuff housed in that hard drive. That's our entire business right there. So we definitely keep a close eye on that thing at all times. Like I was just talking about that network drive in the second room, all three of these guys right now are working on footage that's getting pulled off of that drive. It's connected to every one of our editors in the office here, so we constantly have access to tons and tons of footage from years past. It makes things really nice when we're trying to put together a lot of these episodes for you. But it's a pretty lighthearted work environment. There's 5 of us full-time in here at all times, and we don't really have a set work week like most people do. Our entire business is just deadline based, so we're in here late nights sometimes. Today we just happen to have all 5 of us in here at once because the summer is a little bit slower for us. But once we get into the fall and we start bringing in interns, there'll be a lot of late nights trying to produce these shows. But we all love to deer hunt and we enjoy it, and we're definitely looking forward to these new interns that are coming in a few months. And I wanted to touch on that real quick. The internship process is something that we're definitely very proud of. We've been doing it since 2008, and a lot of the interns that have came through this office have either went on to work here full-time or they found other jobs in the outdoor industry. In fact, I think about 90% of them have. John, Luke, myself, and Eric were all interns here. Greg's the only one that didn't come through the process, but it's something we look forward to every year. These 3 guys that are coming in July, they don't know what they're getting into, but it's definitely going to be fun for them. They're going to learn a lot about deer hunting, the hunting industry, and kind of how the whole Midwest Whitetail business works. So that pretty much wraps up the overview of the office and kind of what the Midwest Whitetail business is all about. And on this next segment, Eric and John were out prepping some new food plots yesterday for the fall on a brand new property that they're getting excited to hunt.
It's May 27th and Eric and I are back out at this 40-acre piece of property that we're going to be hunting this fall. We were able to turkey hunt it this spring, and I was able to harvest a turkey opening day, and we had a lot of really good hunts out here. But previous to turkey hunting, we were able to put in some pure trophy clover, and you wouldn't be able to tell behind us, but this is actually a clover plot. It's about an acre, but unfortunately right now it's gotten overtaken by grass. So to get rid of these grasses today, we're using a grass selective herbicide, clethodim, mix it with a little bit of crop oil, that way it sticks to this grass a little better. We're gonna go over this 1-acre plot, spray it, and probably come back in about 2 weeks once all these grasses are dead, mow it off, and you'll be able to see that there's a lot of clover underneath here. We've already gone through some of the areas and we can see the clover took really well, it's grown really well. It's just being overcompeted by this grass. So we got the backpack sprayer. It's gonna take a little bit, but we're gonna spray this, and then we're gonna go down to where we're gonna be putting in our big and beastie plot, spray that with Roundup, but we got a little bit of walking to do, so we're gonna start spraying this, and then we'll move on to those other projects. Well, we just got finished spraying this field, and just wanted to take a couple seconds to talk about what we're doing. I said earlier we're using a grass selective herbicide, clethodim. The application rate is usually between 8 and 16 ounces per acre. So a lot of people will figure they want to know how much water to mix it with. But if you mix 8 ounces with 5 gallons of water or 16 ounces with 4 gallons of water, it doesn't matter as long as you get that 8 ounces or up to 16 ounces per acre. So the water isn't really as important as the amount of chemicals. What's really nice about this stuff is it's a grass selective herbicide, so it's going to kill all the grasses but not your clover. And it's perfect for these first year clover plots. As you can see behind us, you wouldn't know that there's a clover field here. You would just think it's an overgrown hay field or just a CRP field, but there is a really good germination of clover underneath. We got clover that's anywhere from 1 inch to 4 inches high. but you wouldn't be able to tell because all these grasses are high. And the first year is probably going to be your worst with weeds. We had a lot of bare soil, and this was actually an old hay field, so we still had a lot of those grasses that weren't completely killed off when we burn it. But we're going to come back here in about 2 weeks. Most of this grass should be killed off. Another important thing when you're spraying is you want to look at your forecast. We've wanted to spray this for the past couple weeks, but here in the Midwest we've been having some really rainy weather. And this stuff needs at least a day without rain. So we've had some rain earlier in the week, and we're actually getting some tomorrow, but it's not going to be until the evening. So we came out here when the sun is high. That way when we spray this stuff on, it's going to dry the leaves and give us a good kill. But hopefully we'll be back here in 2 weeks, and all these grasses should be dead. We're going to mow it. That should take care of our broadleaf problem. And if you are having mostly broadleaf weeds in your clover plot, you can usually get away with just mowing it. But like I said, this one's covered in grass, so we use that clethodim. And hopefully after we get this mowed, we'll throw a little fertilizer down, and we should have a good frigid forage clover plot for the deer this summer. Well, like we said earlier, we're going to be putting some trophy rocks out here on this property, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. We really like to use these, one, because it's providing the does that have already had their fawns with nutrients for lactation and for those fawns to get the best nutrition possible to grow. And also right now is a really big time where the deer are putting on a lot of inches of antler, and the trophy rock has those nutrients. The deer love to hit these, and it's going to let that buck show its full potential. And another reason that we really like to use these rocks are because what's right over my right shoulder here, we have a trail camera set up. This is actually a new property that we scouted postseason. We have a little bit of knowledge about it, but not a whole lot. And once the deer start hitting these, they're going to keep coming back. So we got this set up with a camera over top of it, and hopefully in a few weeks we'll be able to show you guys some of the deer that we'll be chasing this fall.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode. I think me and the boys are going to head out in the shop and play some ping pong since Winky's gone. So hopefully we'll see you next Monday right back here for Midwest Whitetail.
This is what I do. This is my job. Right here. Cleaning the office. Put that camera down and help me mop this floor.